Hello, and oh no, I missed your video. I lost your video.
This is like a
okay.
brilliant way to start.
No, we got this. This is gonna be great. All right, watch. This is how the sausage is made, everybody. Okay.
This is the behind the scenes footage. clip it quick.
Okay, so hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Learn with Jason. Today on the show, we're bringing back Nathaniel Okenwa. Thank you so much for coming back on the show. How are you?
I am doing good, thank you. And yourself?
I'm doing great. I thought that this show happened an hour later than I had scheduled it for, so I, in my head, thought I had a lot of time, and then I sat down and I was like, oh my god, we go live in 4 minutes. So
that's classic. The number of times I've been saved by like the meeting notifications just like 10 minutes before my meetings is ridiculous. And the worst one is when I like mute them and I'm like, yeah, let me just finish what I'm doing. I'll get ready. And then it's like, oh wait, it's been 3 minutes. I'm late, even though I knew it was coming 10 minutes before.
The one that kills me is, so I get the Google always gives you a 10-minute until it starts notification. And so I get that and I go, great. And then I look at the meeting and I'm like, well, I'm not just going to stare at this meeting for 10 minutes. And so then I go to check Twitter and then it's been like 15 minutes. And now I am definitely late for this meeting. Like somebody on the meeting pings me like, you coming? I'm like, ah! So now I've taken to, when I get the 10-minute mark, I will actually go and set another timer for 9 minutes.
Very nice. That's a smart way to do it. He's giving the tips, the productivity hacks.
Yeah, it's the only way that I can function. Yeah, Chris, 13 months as a sub. Thank you so much. Hello, hi, how are you? It's good to see everyone. So Nathaniel, at this point, this is the third time you've been on the show, right?
Third, yeah.
Oh man, it is great to have you back. For those of us who are meeting you for the first time today, do you want to give a little bit of a background?
Cool. So my name is Nathaniel Okenwa, also known on the internet as Chatterbox Coder, as you will find out because I love to talk and I write code. But I work for a company called Twilio. So I'm a developer evangelist at Twilio. If you haven't heard about Twilio, we're going to be doing some stuff with Twilio today. But basically, what we try to provide is an API and a couple of other tools that answer all the communications that developer needs, right? So if you wanted to, for example, integrate text or phone calls, video calls, all sorts of communications, emails, you can do that with Twilio and some really cool APIs. And we try to make it straightforward to integrate those things into your apps. And yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm super excited about this because this one is a continuation, right? So we did an episode earlier where, let me find the actual link to it. I'll drop it in chat. We did an episode where we started building a text-based game. So a game where you could text a vote, and I think we got it to the point where it was saving. And
so what we got is all the audience, so all the people in the chat were sending texts, and we kind of, in our sync document, which is what you called, we were able to keep track and sort of document the votes as they went up. And then now we're going to try and incorporate that into an overlay on OBS or some sort. Yeah. So like people in the chat can actually vote and stuff and watch it change and update live on stream.
Yes, I'm super excited about this too, because so I think we'll have to do this a couple ways, right? Like there are a few ways that you can do real time. And so what we're looking to do is, like, this poll isn't mission critical, so it doesn't need to be up to the millisecond accurate. Setting up subscriptions is kind of a pain, or it can be, depending on what tools you're using. But what's not a pain is what's called polling, where we can, and that's going to be confusing that we're running a poll and we're going to use polling to get the results of the poll. But in front-end dev, if you want to get something that is mostly up to date, you can do what's called polling, which is where you call that a function to load the results every 10 seconds or 1 minute or however often. And get the latest results. You look like you're going to tell me something.
I was going to say, so that is actually the way, like, I would have done it before using Twilio Sync, to be honest. So, okay. And the thing about Twilio Sync is Twilio Sync will send events to all the other clients that are attached to it and update them in real time. Okay. So every time a text comes in, when we get our client hooked up to it, it will say, client over here, there's some new data.
Oh.
and it will update it. And the whole idea is like Twilio is we're in this weird position where a lot of times we build something for a very specific use case and realize, oh, we can use this for other things. So it was really built, first of all, for programmable chat. So, you know, when you got the little text boxes and you're chatting with someone on the internet, you need to be able to update every single person's chat the moment one person types something in. And then, but you can use this for all sorts of stuff. And what we did was we basically took that technology and opened it up so you can create your own sort of document structure or your own object notation. And you can sort of update the sync and it goes everywhere as well. So, yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So, so the thing that I thought we were doing is actually not what we're doing at all. And that makes it even more exciting because we might be able to do this much faster. Which means we can play with next steps, right? Because what I would love to do by the end of this is actually, like, and this might be a little ambitious, but I would love to get this poll up on the stream and run some kind of a vote before we shut down today. So with that being said, let's switch over so that we can see what we're working on, which is this screen. And while we do that, I'm going to do a quick shout out to what screen am I looking at right now? That's the wrong screen. What are you sharing?
Some sort of heartbeat saying, I ain't dead.
Oh, and no.
That is very reassuring.
Guess what I did? I pushed a change that that includes a hard-coded background. So everybody hold, please, while I fix this CSS that I pushed today. That is embarrassing. Here we go. Let's go back over here. Let's talk for a minute while I fix my code.
No worries. So I've just started streaming as well. I just started streaming on Twitch at Chatterbox Coder, and the whole like technical mishaps thing, like the number of the worst one is showing credentials. I need to like figure out a really good way, because one thing which I didn't realize how good you were at doing this, how good you were at not doing this until I made the same mistakes like 4 or 5 times. I remember like being at the start of my stream saying, all right, I'm guaranteed I'm not going to show any credentials off today. And like halfway through, I'll be scrolling down and I'll just see that credentials in the corner. I'm like, damn it.
And now I will say that is very hard earned. My ability to not show credentials, which I still do sometimes. If you watch earlier episodes of this show, it was every single episode I would show somebody my credentials. So
apparently there's a VS Code extension, which I'm going to look up, which apparently like obscures your credentials anytime they're on stream.
Yes, it's called Cloak, but it only works for .env files. So that's kind of the way to make it work, right? Is you throw things into a .env. And then
it's still like good for me though, because I try to use, especially when I'm doing like small projects, I try to use .env files so that, because I think one of the annoying things whenever I'm using someone else's repo is when there's so many things that happened in the background that they didn't document. So having a .env file where I can see clearly these are all the things you need to have and bring to the table before this project works is always super useful.
Yes, I'm throwing it in the chat too, so that oh no, what happened? Oh, why is it trying to do Google does this thing where it like highlights text now, which is helpful until you try to share a link in Twitch chat, apparently. So that's a clean link. The other one has like a text fragment on it. So that's the VS Code thing. Once you install this and enable it, any .env files, it'll show you the variable name and the equal sign, and then it blanks out everything else. So you can do credentials, like actually add them on screen without giving away your secrets.
I think one of my favorite ones though is also when like some sort of developer interface is when they are automatically obscure and like you have to like click or interact to show them. I think those are the best ones. Like, I mean, Twilio does it on the homepage where it says like, here's your auth token, which anyone can, here's your account SID, which anyone can see, which is fine to be public, but then your auth token is hidden and you have to click on it and specifically choose to reveal it if you want.
Nice.
Hey, look, it's me.
I fixed it. So yeah, I was doing some development. I added some things that I'm pretty excited about. I updated the Corgi Stampede, and I also added a new and improved boop drop. So yeah, so the things should function a little better on here, and we're cleaning this thing up because what I'm using as the overlay is something called Streamblitz. which is a tool I've been building. And the hope is that I can make this tool available to other streamers because it's got a bunch of, it's got GraphQL subscriptions for chat and commands and overlays and stuff like that. And so I've been doing a lot of work to try to clean that up. But as you can see, I left some of the debugging code in as I was doing that. Okay, so let's do a quick shout out to the sponsors. So if you want to watch live captions today, you can go to lwj.dev/live and you can see the show is playing here, chat's over here, and live captions are happening here. The captions are provided by White Coat Captioning. And thank you so much for being here today. Really appreciate it. That captioning is made possible by our sponsors, Netlify, Fauna, Sanity, and Auth0, who all generously kick in to make the show more accessible to a wider audience, and that is awesome. So with that being said, let's swap over. Make sure you go and follow Nathaniel. Did my boops break? What's going on? Oh no, my boops. I might have broken
remember
it.
being buried in boops. Like, there's been a couple of times people have your audience has drowned.
Did I break it? What have I done? Hold up. I think I might have broken something else too. Oh no, this is going great today.
Jason's like the god of this stream. Well, I mean, quite literally, because he has broken physics literally with the boots. You remember when the boots were coming sideways? It's like the weirdest. It's like Inception. It was just falling down sideways. It was so interesting.
Yeah, I did fix that. I just realized I was tied to a local server instead of the public. I really like. The problem with building things for yourself is that you take all of these shortcuts that you would never do if you were working on a team. And so I've done all of that. So here momentarily, in about 30 seconds, this should be up and live. And I'll be able to refresh the page and we should get our boops back. I also noticed the chat is broken. That should have been my first clue. But let's pull this over and look. Yeah, these are my scenes. I build them on Netlify. So it's just like a website, right? And which I think is really fun.
I love Netlify, and I love the fact what streaming software do you use? Do you use OBS or?
I use Streamlabs OBS, although I've been considering going back to regular OBS because I don't use any of the Streamlabs features.
Fair enough. Like I just love. So I've been playing around with OBS's browser, and it's actually really cool how you can open it in debugging mode. Because I was trying to basically build a thing that allowed me to take phone calls on stream. So like have someone call a number and me be able to literally answer it and my audience can hear it. I can speak to them on stream, which would have been super awesome. I mean, it will be super awesome when I eventually get it working. So I've been building that on Fridays, which has been pretty cool. Nice. And that's when I figured out how much actual documentation there was on the OBS browser. And that was really nice to see. Every time like I'm trying a new project and I don't know if it's possible, and then I see lots of documentation that actually helps me, it's the best. It's the best.
Excellent. Okay, I think I've fixed it. I can see Jimena has posted in the chat, and it actually showed up.
Oh, so we would need to add code.
There we go. There we go. Right? All right. So bury us in boops, y'all. Let's make sure this thing actually works. Yeah, and you can flap, you can grow. Let's see, there it goes. There it goes. It's actually doing things.
Go. Come on, bring on the boops. Bring on the boops.
All right, we should focus up because I would love to actually write some code here. All right, so we've talked about the sponsors. We've introduced Nathaniel, and now we are going to look at what we did last time. So the app that we wrote last time is here. So we did this SMS function, and this function pulls in Twilio, and then we sync to this service and this document, and we save whatever the vote was and increment the total by 1.
Yep. And then we update it. And this is the function that's connected to like our Twilio phone number. I don't remember what our phone number actually was, but Jason bought a phone number and basically made it so that if you sent an SMS to it, and I think the SMS was yes or no, the answer was yes or no, then it would go and trigger this function. So basically now we have a sync document. That's what they're called. Mm-hmm. And our sync document holds, I can't remember what our like 2 options were, but it has like a yes and a no vote. And every time someone texts in, that gets updated. Either the yeses go up or the no's go up. So that bit's fine. That's being stored. And what we need to do is we need to have a client build sort of a web client that will basically listen to that document almost, and listen out to events that are fired off. And we'll sort of update something in a browser based on that.
Okay. So let me pull up the terminal over here, and we're going to go into Twilio text to vote, right? And so let's open this up, and we can start building. So here's our function that's listening.
Now that's our function that was attached to our text, to our SMS.
Yes. And so, or wait, did I just Twilio CDN? Okay, so we kind of sort of started doing this, and then I think we ran out of time. So let me get rid of this, and we'll get rid of, I guess we can just kind of put whatever we want here. So what I would like, if I'm picturing this kind of in the context of a stream, what we really want to build is just like a basic visualization. So I'm thinking like a horizontal bar chart or something where we could show the options and then show the bar getting longer or, staying the same if you're not voting for it. And then we can just drop that in one of the corners of the stream so that when somebody votes, we can show it. And whenever the poll's active, we can, what I'd like to show is the active poll and the number to text to vote.
Cool.
And that way we can kind of drop this anywhere and it'll sit on screen and it can be something that happens like during the whole show, or it can be something that happens in a particular moment where we're like, hey, what should we work on next? And we can do this. That might be something for another time, because we're going to need to be able to clear the poll and like set a new one up with different votes and stuff. But I'm happy if we don't do that today. I'm happy if we just focus on getting the visualization of what's there. So with that being said, I'm going to add just a heading so that we know what's on the screen.
Cool.
And then we're going to have
some sort of like text here, text this number, and then maybe.
So let's call this, we'll give this an ID of like, let's give it a class. No need to use an ID. We'll call it a poll. And then we'll have like, this is going to be a to-do. If I can, where's my hyphen? There it is. I got to turn my keyboard because I am apparently twisted sideways here. And then we can add like we'll use an H3 and say text. What was our Twilio number? I'm going to have to go look this up. Let's go to twilio.com. And we'll get logged in. This one, I think.
Yep.
Whoa. Okay, so we'll pull these off screen. You gonna cooperate with me? Here we go. All right. Two-factor, good.
Two-factor is always the best. Oh, wait. I think Ximena VF might have posted it, but let's actually still double check.
Oh, yeah, thank you for that. Let's see.
I feel like I completely butchered that name. Ximena VF.
I believe it's Jimena, but I could be wrong.
Oh, that makes sense.
Let me get verified here, and in my most hacker voice, we're in.
We're in.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Jimena. Thank you. So
now we have active numbers, and here is our active number. So that is the one.
Yep.
That Jimena sent us.
Thank you, Jimena.
Okay, so now we can just drop this in here. We can say text to vote. Cool. All right. So this is our basic setup, and I'm going. Actually, I'll use the VS Code terminal for this, so we're all in the same place. Let's run netlify dev. Jimena has it saved on her phone. Oh, that's great. Okay, so now we have localhost 8888. All right. So this is the basic structure of our poll. So we want to get the polling data kind of stuck up above this text notice here. And what I have included thus far is just the sync SDK.
Yeah. Now we're going to need to set something else up. One more thing before this will work. So what happens is for our like SDK to work, it needs to have some form of authentication, but like it's not going to necessarily have the account SID and auth token because those are permanent. So what Twilio has is we have access tokens, and we do use them with video. It's actually the same one.
I gotcha.
And they're basically like temporary credentials that we can create and hand over to our client so that our client can subscribe to our sync document. So we're going to need to create a second function, kind of like our SMS.js. But this function is going to use the Twilio. It's going to make a call to the Twilio API to basically say, can I have a new access token that connects, that gives a client permission to listen to this sync document?
So my headphones broke this morning. And as a result, I'm wearing Marissa's headphones. But if you've ever seen a picture of me standing next to Marissa, she's like under 5 foot tall, and she's got this like tiny, cute little head. And I am not tiny or cute, and so these headphones are for her ear, and they will not stay in. And so,
is it like one of those ones where they have the different earbuds sizes, right?
Yes,
so like different. It's just not compatible.
It's not. It's like it feels like I'm just like precariously hanging it off the side of my ear.
It's like you got the small headphone jack and you're plugging it into like the bigger aux.
Yeah, and as you can imagine, it is not going well over here. I don't know if you've seen me struggling with these headphones. Okay, so yeah, they absolutely are. Tony, I figured out that my headphones were broken 1 minute after we were supposed to be live, so so I didn't have time to actually like fix this. We're laying the track right as we fly across it here.
I was able to get a whole wrap off like while his headphones were.
Oh my god! Okay. So quick aside. When Nathaniel joined the call, I couldn't hear him, but I could see that audio was coming through OBS. So I had a hunch that it was my headphones. So as I was testing that, he said he would just keep talking while I looked for headphones. And so I got some headphones, came back, and I plugged in. And as I'm doing that, he is doing flawlessly Maui's entire rap verse from You're Welcome in Moana, which, if you haven't heard it, is it's really one of the finer pieces of musical theater that's happened this millennium.
It's beautiful. Like, you know what? Lin-Manuel Miranda, his raps, I just love him. Like, I love rap and hip hop in general, but like in musicals, it's almost like, especially when like growing up, it's like two different worlds. I had rap and hip hop over in this world, and I had musicals and animation and like kid stuff in another world, and then having them together.
Is it on YouTube? Probably.
What, the actual Moana song? Definitely.
Let's find it. Here it is. It's also like...
So what I believe you were trying to say...
Okay, let me stop this immediately before I get a DMCA takedown. Okay. Okay, so this is... we're going to get nothing done today.
This is all right. I'm going to stop. I'm going to behave, because this is what happened last time. This is why we're on part 2, because I talked too much. All right. Okay. So now what we need to do is we need to create a function that calls the API, gets us an access token.
Yes. And is this a serverless function, or is this going to be client side?
It can be a serverless function.
Okay.
Yeah, it is a serverless function. I thought you were going to say, is it? Yeah, the serverless function. I don't know where my brain went.
Okay, so we've got the basics of a serverless function here. Boy, I cannot type today. Oh my goodness. I'm going to get there. Just everybody bear with me. And then we're going to return something. All right. I'm ready. What do we need here?
So we're going to require Twilio, and
we have that installed already, right?
I believe so, because we used it in SMS. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to copy this out because I imagine that we need it the same way, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to need to do one more thing. We're going to need to generate an API key and secret over on Twilio's website.
Okay.
And API key and secret is basically like, so if your account SID and auth token is for your whole account, an API key and secret allows you to generate authentication or keys for a project. And that way it's easier to revoke access to certain things.
Okay.
So it's like you've done this before.
I'm not going to lie. I was 100% guessing. You
went to the right place straight away.
Okay. So if you just is, what was this? Twilio poll. And do I need, it's a standard key?
Yeah, standard key should be fine.
Okay. And then when I click this, is this going to show it? Do I need to pull it off screen?
Yeah. I always forget.
I'm going to pull it off.
I would say put it off screen.
Yeah. Okay, it did show it. So so what I'm going to get over here is I can go to, I don't have a .env file, which means that we were doing this through Netlify. So let's pull this up, and I'm going to split this terminal, which I found out you can do. And I know that changed my life the other day. So then I can go into my settings, build and deploy environment, and I've got my, this is a plugin from Sarah Drasner, which hides environment variables. So now we can add these. And so I'm going to call this Twilio API SID. Is that right?
Yep.
And then we'll call it Twilio API
secret. It's API key and API secret.
Oh, API key and API secret.
Yeah.
Got it.
Also, just like as if any of you watched last time we had this stream, I just saw Blitz Jackson the robot ask what were we doing again?
And you really wanted to.
So what happened is, just context, is it's a bot that will ask the same question, what were we doing again? And I must have tried to answer it 3 times in the same stream, even though it's just trolling me. Okay. So now that that's cool, now that that's all good.
We are talking about Twilio, and the plugin that that does this is called Netlify Masker. It's a Chrome extension by Sarah Drasner, and it will allow you to do screen shares with your Netlify settings and actually hide them as you edit your environment variables. So let's see. All right, so now that this is added, what we will notice is when I go back to here, and then I'm going to close this one. I think that'll do it. Yes. And then I'm going to stop this, run Netlify dev, and then check this out. We're local, but it goes to Netlify and grabs these environment variables for us. So we don't have to set a local environment variable up. We can just use them here, which means that in here now, we have access to those environment variables.
Netlify is one of my favorite dev tools to work with. They just make it so easy to sort of make the gap between your like production environment and your development environment as like close together as possible.
I'm not gonna like. I always feel, you know, it's funny because I work at Netlify, right? But I very much feel like one of those hair club for men commercials where at the end I want to be like, I'm not only the president, I'm also a member. You know, it's like
Okay. So what we want to do is we've got Twilio, so we can go like const, let's call it access token.
Okay.
So we want to generate an access token. So we'll call it access token, and we go Twilio from the library that we have, and then .jwt access token.
Like that?
Yep. Cool. It should be a capital A on the access token.
Okay.
Perfect. And the things that it takes, and then if you go down one, and then this is interesting.
Hold up. Like this is like we're gonna do it like this?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so then I
and
can
then
make
now
this
we're gonna
capital.
actually use it. Yeah. And it takes into you need a new access token, and it's gonna take in your account SID, your API key, and your API secret.
So as like three different arguments?
Yep.
Okay, so my account SID first, then my API
key.
Okay. API key, and then the last one is secret.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so that will generate a token for us, and we need to grant this token access to our sync service. So the way we'll do that is we would basically go if you go const, let's call it a sync grant, and that will be a new. And we're going to actually need to do the same thing we did with access token is const access token dot sync grant. So you see how you got access token in line 7, you need sync grant will be a new access token dot sync grant, if that makes sense.
Oh, I understand. Okay, so access token dot, is it capital S?
Yes. Cool. And but it takes in an object.
Oh wait, okay, so we're gonna do it here.
We could do it either. Yeah, and takes an object, and the object will have one property, which is the service SID. Service SID.
Like this or?
Yeah, just like that. And if you go to your sms.js.
Yes, it was this one?
We had a service SID, yeah, that one.
Okay. We should probably put this into environment, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you've even got it under to do.
Why don't we just go ahead and do that since it's already open? We'll call this Twilio service SID and save that. Oops. And then I can come back out here and we'll change this one to process.env Twilio service SID, and then we can come over here and do that.
Put that in.
Okay.
Perfect.
Now let me stop and restart this so we get that new SID. There it is. Okay.
And what we want to do is we want to add this sync grant to our token. So underneath you go token.add grant. And it will be the sync grant that
just straight up like that.
Perfect.
Okay.
And now we need to send that over back to our client. So we're going to return that token.
Do I stringify it?
You want to do it token.toJWT.
Is it capitalized or lowercase?
Yeah,
like
just
this?
like that.
Okay.
It's perfect.
Excellent. All right. So now we should be able to get a jot. And this, I assume we're going to call from out here. Hey, we're doing this now. So let's get rid of that note. And we will say our token, or I guess we should call this, it'll be an async function, get token, and that will get a token, which will be await fetch. And we called this, let's see, netlify functions get Twilio token. Do I need to, and I don't need to send anything into it, right? Because we already know.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when it comes back, we're going to get a response. And that response, is it just plain text or is it?
It's JWT, which can be decrypted, but it's not plain text.
But does it get sent back as a string, or does it get sent back as like a stringified JSON object?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Let's dump it as text and let's see what we get. And I assume this is okay since we can get this in client to share, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's just call this get token.
So this should come up as like encrypted, but it's possible to decrypt the
function invocation failed, which means I did something wrong. And the thing that I did wrong is cannot read property access token of undefined. So it doesn't like,
if you scroll up,
it doesn't like this. It doesn't like the .jwt.
Can you, one thing, if you scroll up, get rid of the, right to the top where we got required Twilio, just required Twilio, get rid of the authentication. We don't need to because we're not using that part of the API, and that actually returns a different.
I understand. All right, let's try this one more time. And here we go. There's our token. So then we can take this over to like jot.io and we can take a look at what's inside. This is my favorite thing, by the way. If you see a token, you can just come out here and play with it. This is put together by the Auth0 team. And it is great because look, we can now see that we've got some basic information like when the token expires and things like that. But here's our grant. We've got a grant for sync, and we can see the service SID, which is the one that we want to use. So now I'm assuming when we send this to Twilio, it's going to say, hey, your app has been given the appropriate access to get updates from sync.
Yeah, you have permission to read, to write, to listen. And what's really cool is, so the access tokens that we use work across sort of all of Twilio's other products. So you can basically give a client, you can say, you have access to sync and chat and video, but not phone calls. Or
right. And now is this, Tony's asking in the chat, is this for each user or each session? It seems like per session.
Per session, yeah. So each user, every session.
Yeah, but what we could do, I assume, is if we had somebody logged in, we could tie this, like this grant to be tied to their permissions. The idea is that
while they're there, this grant is tied to their permission. So what you may do in our function, where we sort of gave them access, is we can be more specific about what type of access we want to give them. For example, if you remember earlier, there was like a master key versus a standard key. Well, master keys can actually do some extra powerful things that you would want only like a very, very, very powerful user to have. And then also what's really cool is with the API, you can revoke tokens at any point in time, or basically kill someone off kill someone's connection off.
Well, and if we think about this from like how you could do this with identity too, if you had like a user logged in and that user had a role of like user versus editor versus admin, then you could also do something like check the users, if user.roles includes like viewer, then they could view sync, right? You would add this sync grant. But maybe if they were an editor, they'd have like they could change the phone number, or they could like upwrite the poll or something. So those are ways that you could control this as well that aren't like, so it's not directly tied to Twilio anymore. It's now we're getting a token, and then we would check our permissions on a different service and add different grants based on that user's roles, if that makes sense. Excellent.
Perfect.
I'm into it. So, all right. So now we've got our function. We're able to get a token, which means I believe we can start loading our sync data, right?
Yeah. So let's just use the library. So now you have a global Twilio object. So we can go like, which we got from there. So we can go like, let the sync client be new. We got to create a new twilio.sync.client.
Like that?
Yep. And then it takes in a token. And that's all we need. So now we have a client that is connected. And one thing which I think is always good to do, just to make sure it's all connected, is to go client.on. So let's just create an event on. And we have an event called connection state changed.
Is it all lowercase?
Camel case.
Camel case.
Yeah, you're good. And that returns a state, and then we can go. So state, and then we can like basically go like, does the state equal connected? That means it's great. If it doesn't equal connected, we know something went wrong.
Okay, cool. So for now, we can just straight up log this and see what it says. Denied.
Denied. Do you want to? Can you click on it?
I don't think there's anything in it. I can look for more information.
Yeah.
Let's see what it says.
I've never had denied. Why would we
it only comes back with that. So I'm doing something wrong. Let's log just the token.
Oh, wait. Have we... Wait. We need to stringify the token. My bad.
So the token is a string.
Oh, is it already?
Yeah. Because I just brought it back as text, right? So it's just a string.
You did.
It doesn't have to be passed as like an object, like a token property.
It shouldn't. No, it should just be passed as a string. I'm literally going through... I'm just going to quickly get the docs up as well.
Twilio sync token. We added in the sync grant, and we saw that when we checked the JWT.
Interesting. And we've... Yeah, I'm just going to quickly get this up. So what's happened is, which is a good thing, is we've been denied for some reason, and we need to just figure out why.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to figure out why are we getting denied? When we get the token, when you instead of doing response.text, what I'm trying to remember what comes in response, because I think it might be a JSON object, might not just be.
I mean, if it's a stringified JSON object, that would it doesn't like that.
That's not like
so.
Yeah.
And like, given that it's coming back as text, that makes me think that because we were able to decode it here, it seems to be. It's well formed. So now I'm wondering if maybe.
Can you if you go to where it says client new Twilio sync.client, do you mind putting a second argument, which is an object? Object has a property log level.
Like that?
Yeah. And do you mind just giving it info as a string?
Okay, let's try it. Rejected by the server. Token does not contain identity.
Ah, there we go. If we go back to where we give our token, and the one thing we need to do as well is we need to give it we need to give our token an identity. So now this identity would be however you identify your user. So for example, if let's give this just a random string, we can just give it a string which is called like overlay.
Okay.
So because we can't just generate a token without like attaching it to a person or an identity, and that is up to you and your application.
I got you.
So that was what I missed. So we need to go token.identity equals, and then we can give it anything we want.
That's what it'll eventually be. So we can just call it that. And so now. Overlay ready. It's connected. Heyo.
Yes.
Okay. So I might just keep that log level up for the rest of this so we can see what's going on, because that's kind of cool. What's next?
So now what we want to do is we would like to, so you know how we've got the client.on connection state changed? What we want to do is actually go get our document.
Yes.
So we would like to, after we can do it separate from that client, can do it underneath, so underneath line 31, and we go our client.document, and document takes in a a string, and that string is whatever the name of our document was or the document SID.
Is it this one here?
Yep.
Okay. I think I can't use environment variables without configuring something goofy, so I'm just going to hard code that.
What you may want to use is because you could actually, when we created our document, we gave it a unique name, which is probably something that is much more person friendly. I don't remember what it was. We could use the SID. It allows you to use both.
Okay, so let me pull this back over. And I'm going to go to sync, which was in here somewhere.
If you go into circle ... there's like so many things. So
how do I
scroll down? It should be towards the bottom.
Scroll in.
There we go.
Where was it?
You've gone past it.
And then I'm going to use this so that it's up there all the time. Now, when I go back out here, look at it. There it is. All right. So then I have my services.
Yep.
And this is the unique name.
That's the unique name of your service. We want the unique name of your document.
Oh,
which won't be there. It will be actually the way we find it is through the CLI. If you remember last time,
vaguely
the CLI. So should be able to go Twilio. Do you still have the CLI?
I do.
Yes. So Twilio API. I'm trying to remember. Twilio API : sync. : v1 : services : documents. I think that's it. And it should, and space list, or yeah, and then list. Turn on list. And
I'm missing a service.
And you need the service SID.
Service SID. And that was this one.
I think you spelt service SID wrong. Side, you wrote service side.
There we go.
And there we go. We got LWJ text to vote. So
Perfect.
That's what we called it.
All right. So then out here, I should be able to use this instead.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm ready.
Dot then, and then that will return your document.
Okay. Do you mind if I unwrap this?
Yep. Wait.
Okay.
Hey.
Hey, thank you, BeginBot, for the raid. Welcome everybody. What were y'all working on? Okay, so now we have the document. All right. So to catch everybody who just showed up, we are working on a Twilio text to vote kind of thing. This is what we built last time, which is we connect to Twilio and we're able to store a vote. So whenever you text a number, that calls this function. We look for this and we then store the result of your vote, either a yes or a no, into a document on Twilio. And what we're doing this time around is we are getting a read token using another serverless function so that we can get those results out and get them on screen, which is what we're doing here. So right now we've got just a wrapper that we're going to put our results in, and we've loaded the Twilio Sync API from the CDN, and we load our token from this serverless function that we built over here, and then we use that token. YAML, JSON. Yes. So we then use the token that we get back to create a Twilio Sync client that we are using to load a document. And that is as far as we've gotten thus far. At this point, is this the actual results? Like, can I log this and we'll see the data?
Yeah, so you can go document.value and you can see the data.
Like this?
Yep.
Okay, so let's just log it. Console.log. We'll do it like that so we can see what comes out. Let's take a look. Here's our value, and it gives us 28 no votes and 13 yes
13
votes.
Yeses. So now, so that gives you the data when you first open the document. So essentially when the page gets loaded, but what you want to do is you want to listen out for every time that's been updated.
Yes.
So if you go back to your code and you just put document document.on, and it's got an event for updated. So you always have it straight away, but then if you put on updated, you get an event, and that event has a value, just like document.value, you've got event.value. Or you could call it document.
Got it. Okay, cool. So then this should update every time, which then means, I believe, we can build out our like function to actually load this thing. So I think what I'm going to do for the sake of time, because we've got about 35 minutes left, is I'm going to, instead of trying to write a charting library, unless you have a charting library that you know, because I don't know any.
I don't know any that I can use off the top of my head.
Yeah. So let's maybe not try that. And instead, we will just we'll just show a list. So we're gonna say, let's make this an actual unordered list, and we'll call it
results.
Results. That's a good one. So we'll call it results, and then in here, I'm going to hard code this. We can fix this later. You'll have to look at the source code for how this actually makes it into the show when we do the live update part. But then we're going to have a yes and a no, because those are our two values. And so I want a function that will take the document value and then update these two pieces. Yeah. And so I think the way that we can do that is we can create a function called update values or update results. That makes more sense. That'll take a value.
Do you want it to take one or two values?
Well, I was just going to pass in the document value since it's since we know what this is, like it's going to have the no and the yes. And then what we can do is we can just say no, or no, I don't want to do that because I want the keys. So I'm going to get the values, and then I can do an object dot entries of values, and that's going to give us an array of arrays. So if I run object dot, let me save this one as a global variable, and if I do object dot entries of temp1, what it's going to give us is an array, and then for each array we get the first key is the actual key of the object, and the second key is the value. So what I want,
the most useful like little tricks in JavaScript.
So helpful. So then what I can do is I can for each, and I'm going to destructure this. So I'm going to take the argument, and I'm going to get the key and the value. And what I want to do is document.querySelector for the key. Nope, I need to make it into an actual query selector. So we'll make it the key.
This is really well done. But sorry, it's just.
And then we'll make the inner text the value. So what I should be able to do now is every time the thing updates, this should just live update our list items. So let's give this a try. So the first thing that we'll do is we will just call update results.
You probably want to call it on document.value. Yeah, okay, cool.
On document.value, right? And I called it update results, yes. And then what I can do is do the same thing here on this value. And so now, assuming all went well, if you all start texting this phone number here with either yes or no in the response, then we should start to see results.
Drum roll. Oh, there's an error happening down there.
Cannot set property inner text of null, which means that something is not coming in the way that I expected it to. So let's try it. Console.log value, and let's see what happens when we get a new. Oh, does it come in as two pieces? Index 196. Yes. Okay. So what we're actually going to get out of here then is we want this. And then cannot set inner text of null. No, you should have worked. All right.
All right. So it's updated already.
Let's see it update live.
If we can. Drum roll.
I'm gonna.
Yes.
There it goes. Look at it go. So now we have the ability to do a live updating poll. So the next step, and I guess actually that happened faster than I expected. So maybe what we should do is try to get this on a chart. You wanna wade into uncharted territory together?
Yes, that was so good. That was so good. When you paused, I was like, something's coming, and I was like, what's coming? And then we said,
all right, I think I need a
Uncharted
supervision here.
Good. Yeah,
that was good.
Drills is suggesting in the chat that we use D3. I think D3 is probably a great idea because we can most likely find an example of exactly what we want. So let's look for just a straight bar chart. I don't need a fancy one. Is there just like the simplest possible bar chart? Because that's really what I'm after. Bar chart. Oh wait, I want a horizontal bar chart. That's what I want because I want to stick this. Wait, did this just open? Horizontal bar chart. So that's what we're after, right? Is exactly this. Oh, we're using observable. If you are interested in learning more about observable, there is an episode of Learn with Jason with Anjana Vakil, who is just an incredible person. And if you are interested in learning what observable is and why it's amazing, you should go check that episode out. It is a very good one. In the meantime, let's figure out how to make this work. So I need to get D3, and then we're going to, let's see, we'll have a view box, and then the data will be the data, and it just repeats. Is that right? And this looks like the background.
Interesting.
What's all this? This looks like the, so I think this part is the labels.
Ah, that makes sense.
And this part is the bars. And then that x-axis, y-axis, what are those? I don't think we care about those. Maybe we just go for the simpler thing.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's a lot in here. Okay. Bar height. Woof. Okay. All right. So I need to get D3. Can I get D3 from a CDN though? Maybe I'll just get it from unpackage. And I want D3. Yeah, that'll work.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay, so we can get D3. Oh, Jackie, thank you so much for gifting those subs. That is wonderful. I really appreciate that. Welcome to the what do we call everyone who watches this show? Like I feel like everybody's they've got a name, right? Like a group name, and I don't have that. Lifers.
You've got lifers.
Whatever you are, the hacksaws. No, I don't think that's right. That's not the message we want to send, Tony. No, the boop crew.
I was thinking the beeps. No,
yeah,
the boop crew. Oh, boopers.
Boopers, boop crew. Yeah, all right. So now, welcome to the boop crew. You can now spam those boops. Remember, if you are ambitious about it, you can actually bury us in boops. But you got to do a little work.
I hope, because like I'm right at the top, right? So I'm all down for you. You know what? I think I might do a bit of booping myself.
I'm in. Oh, wait. What? No, hold on. You can't work against me.
You're gonna get buried first.
Oh, that is uncool.
Thank
okay.
you. Come on.
Jesus. All right. So I'm gonna see if I can. I'm gonna add.
This is so much fun.
I'm just doing work over here while y'all. Look, I'm just gonna get the one line up at the top that I have. Look at there we go. All right, yeah. All right. So now we've.
This is like the closest I'm gonna get to swimming in lockdown. So I need to make the most of it.
Oh,
you know what? We need to just get the Titanic soundtrack on right now.
Oh, look at it. We're lagging it out.
Sure.
Look at it go.
Oh, really? Wow. Dang.
We have overtaxed the system.
All right, folks, thank you so much. Let's actually finish a project, because this is actually the closest I've been on Jason's show to finishing a project.
We're going to do it. Today it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
All right, here we go. Okay, so I have D3.
Adult supervision here.
And so now that I have D3, I can come in and we've got, that's the D3 object. I don't particularly care about most of this. So what I really want, all I really want to do is I want to create a chart. And that chart, I want to attach, let's see, D3 scale linear, D3, oh yeah. How does it actually attach to the document? Because that's the part that I care about. Somewhere in here, let's see, we've got data, so we can figure out that part, I hope. And this data is just what we would expect. It's name and value, so we can parse that out if we need to.
Yeah.
And then where does this attach is what I'm curious about. It creates an SVG, but then it never, I don't see where this gets attached to. Does anybody see it? Or is it just like this is the chart and that's how observable works?
Just add the node to the document, like Drills has suggested.
Okay, so it returns it. All right. Let's do it. This is the only downside to observable is there's a tiny bit of magic, so you can't quite see what's happening. That's the wrong doc. This is the one that we want. All right, so let's add. I'm gonna add a div up here. We'll call it chart, and down here we're going to function, or let's say update chart. And for now, let's just see if we can get some data on there. So we have D3, and I want to do a D3 create. So const SVG equals D3.create SVG. And then that is going to have an attribute of viewbox. And we want this to be, I don't know, we'll just hard code it. So it starts at 0, 0, that's the top and left. And then we're going to give it an X length, which will be its width. And we can make it, let's say 350 pixels wide, and we'll make it, it's not a very tall.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Just the two things. So then we're going to append svg.append a group. And in that group, we want to an attribute of fill, that's the color, and we'll just use steel blue because that's the one that they used.
Is that the name of that? No, what's the name of the pose from
Blue Steel?
Blue Steel. Oh, steel blue. That's, I was like, this reminds me of that thing, Blue Steel. Mwah.
Okay, so then
what if that was deliberate?
The data, that would actually be really funny. I believe that this color name predates Zoolander. So our data is an array. I'm gonna hard code this for a second just to make sure that we have it working before I start doing things. And the value was, we'll say 30, and then we'll have another one of name no, and a value of, we'll say 10. This is a positive show, more yeses than nos. And then once we have that, we've got our data, and then we're gonna join the rectangles, and they're going to have some values here. So the X, there's a function called X that we don't have. Where is that? The X function is f of n. Oh, that's just a function. Okay.
Oh, see, this is the problem with maths. I generally read that like maths f of n. And I was like, oh no, just like maths. I haven't like looked at equations directly in a long time.
Yeah. Okay, so then this one is, we want to get, okay, so I remember this. So D3 scale linear is what we want the biggest value to fill the full width, right? So if there's only one vote, that should be a full width bar for one vote. But then as we get more, it should stay there.
That's really smart.
Yeah, D3 does a lot of cool stuff for you. This is what Anja and I figured out. We did an emote race, which was super fun. And so what we're doing here is we're saying we want a linear scale, and the domain is like the min max. So it's a minimum of 0, and then the max is whatever the highest value from the data is. And then the range, I don't know. Let's see, margin dot left and width equals oh, that's the actual size of the thing. So we can hard code that.
That would be like.
Okay. So up here, that got set as attribute x is x of d dot value. Oh, so okay, so I understand. So what we'll do here is we'll say x equals, and we'll do this, but what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna set these to 0 and 350. So basically the minimum width is, or the minimum starting point is 0, the minimum ending point. And so we get our data, which apparently I need to put our data up here because we're gonna need it more than once. Okay, and then that'll give us our scale. So we put the data in here, and then I need to add a attribute. No. Yes, attribute of x. And that was d x d value, right?
Think so.
No.
Yep.
So the x is always 0. Okay. Seems like it could just be 0. Oh,
wait, because x
it would
always
be 0
starts
because
at
it might
0.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so then the x is 0.
And then you got width as d dot value.
The y is going to be. So we need another function for y.
I think that is because if you have multiple options, like they move by how many options you have.
Yep. So that'll be that. So let me get this one set up. So that scale band is as we add options, it'll just bump down by that number. Our margin top is 0 and our height is 100. And the data dot length, yep, that'll be fine. Padding 0.1, fine. We'll just hope that works. We'll hope that works out for us. And then that was y dot
0. No, yi.
Oh, there's a whole bunch going on in here. So let's grab. I'm just gonna copy paste that one. So we're taking the data item, its index, and then we're setting the y value to be its index. So really, this could be like an unused value. And I put a comma there, which I shouldn't have done. So then we're gonna set its width to be x of. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna copy the rest of these.
I think you should be able to.
I was gonna do it so that we could like talk through why, like what they are and why they exist, but I think we can do that without me having to type it. So we get the value, and so this time we're setting the width to be the x, like the far right value minus the starting value, which will give us, for whatever the largest value is, that'll be full width, and for the other one it'll be some proportional scale of that. The y dot bandwidth, I really hope, is just coming out of here automatically, not something that we have to do.
I didn't see a dot bandwidth.
This is all labels, I think. I'm not going to add axes because I don't really care. So instead, we're going to get svg.node. And what I'm going to do is document.querySelector.
I think you said
chart.
results. Oh, chart, yeah.
And we are going to append child svg.node. All right, let's try that and see if we can hard code a chart. I cannot, because I didn't call it, is why. So here's update chart.
It would be where we've got update chart, yeah.
So why don't we for now just throw it in update results?
But you got to pass it. Oh,
look at it go.
There we go.
Okay. So the next thing then is we want to make our data come from here. And that means that I need to,
don't you just want to,
you know, I might honestly, rather than trying to, rewrite the D3 code, I might just change this object really quick. So let's make data into object.entries values.map, and then what we're going to get out is a key and a value, and we can just send back a name of key and a value. And in fact, I can make this even simpler. We can just do it just like that. So now we've got our data, and I can pass in the data, and I can delete this, and theoretically speaking, what will happen is this will match. I screwed something up.
Fine.
Values, oh, just typoed. Okay. So let's all vote no for a minute, and let's see if we can make this thing work. So let's go with 406. Whoop.
Oh.
Okay, so we have to replace the node. Wait, is there a way to just do that though? That seems like something that should just happen in D3, which means that I attached it wrong. But I don't know how to do that differently. Does anybody know D3? I do 100% want labels. However, I am not going to do that right now because we have like 15 minutes left. So let's get this chart rendering properly first, and then we can start playing with the specifics of it. So I know there's a way to do this. Like I've seen this done before, and I think there's like a way to do an update as opposed to recreating it entirely, but I don't remember what that is. I wonder if I did it on my... Uh-oh. I should have one example here that I might be able to pull from. So my stuff is here. We've got the emoji race, and we've got some D3 stuff. Chart.update.
So I guess we want to build it the first time and then update it.
Okay. So then
afterwards.
What we can do instead of this is we can change this one to like build chart, and we will return svg.node, right? And then...
But you're going to need to build chart like when we create the document,
yes.
when we get the document back.
So we'll get a chart that will be build chart document.value. And then on this, it would be chart.update. Oh, crap. We're going to have to refactor this a little bit because we do the data up here. So, well, maybe what I can do instead is I can build the chart once.
And just put update results. Well, update results should, rather than building chart, it updates chart.
Yes.
So if you think it's line 32, you've got update chart.
Right. So we just need to okay. So this gives us the chart. And then what I need to do is update the chart. Just like this.
And so do it in update results. So you know when you've got your update results function?
Yes. So I just need to pass in the chart.
Oh, yeah.
And then I would just do like chart update data. And then I can take this out.
What is line? Okay.
Is that right?
I just think line 33 does actually called any function because
it doesn't right now. Yeah, this one doesn't exist. So what we're doing here is we just want to get, so we'll build the chart the first time when it gets created, and then we're going to pass that chart in here, but that means that I need to parse the data differently, which means, unfortunately, I need to do something like this. This always, it starts so easy. And then you get your values, and then we're going to return. And then here we have to parse data values. And then down here, we can parse data document.value. Please work on the first try.
Dun, dun, dun.
It didn't work on the first try. Cannot read property update of undefined at update results index 185. That's not the right thing. Chart.update data. Where did I call update results? No.
Oh, wait. Because you want to do that. You can't update results until the chart the chart doesn't exist yet.
Do you work? Okay, so that started working, and then I broke something. So we're almost there, but we're missing. So update results. Okay, we've now crossed the line into like, let's see, if chart.
But
now I'm just being disrespectful.
Only be calling this like after the chart already exists. Why are we calling it there?
Because, and that's not right either. Come on. So what we've done is we kind of, let's just walk through this because I've lost myself now. So we get the token. Yeah. Once we get the token, we get the document. And once we get the document, we update the results, which is our list items.
Okay, yeah.
What's up? What did I do?
Yeah. But if you go to your update results function, you try to interact with the chart in it. The chart doesn't exist yet.
Right. And so what I was thinking of doing is just having that first run, skip it entirely.
Fair enough.
But that apparently isn't working. Just move it down one line. Do you think that'll work?
That's what I was thinking, but
let's try it. Okay. So let's try that and see if that does anything. Chart.update is not a function. Okay, so I'm doing something wrong. And I'm wondering if it's this. And I need to I'm looking.
So I just replaced.
I don't know about, well, no, because we don't want to do that. That's like, that's super heavy.
So apparently Mike wrote an update function.
He wrote an update function?
Let's see if we can find it.
Image labels.
Yeah, he created a update function which has transitions.
Oh no.
It's actually further down. I think it's further down. If I'm looking at the same page as you.
Am I looking at something? Oh, I'm on.
So on Emoji Race. Oh no, on Twitter -emoji race.
Right now, so this is different code. So Anja and I got this running for something else. This is like our simplified version. I really don't want to do transitions though. I don't want to deal with that at all. Okay,
then I guess we could just replace it.
We're just gonna get rid of this thing together. So let's back it out. And what we will do is update results value. SVG node. Let's keep it rolling. Where were we when?
We need the query selector and appending node to that. But then what we want to do is, rather than append, can we just...
We can set the inner HTML, I think.
Yeah.
And that should delete everything. Let's try it. Update chart is not defined. I missed a step. Update chart is now called, it's called build
line
chart.
32. Yeah, that was the line that we commented out. Okay, it's cool. Yeah.
Okay. So instead of this, what we'll have to do is we'll say chart, and then we can we'll say like chart dot will be like chart dot remove child, and then that would be chart dot query selector SVG. And then we can chart dot append child, and it'll be chart dot SVG
dot node.
Wait.
Drum roll.
Just do the thing I want you to do. Why? Parameter 1 was not of type node. Okay, so then old chart equals if old chart. Okay, this is the one. It's gonna happen this time. There we go. All right, everybody, vote.
Lots of no's. Lots of no's.
Yes. The number is on the screen here. So.
Oh, did you see it move? It moved.
I did see it move. Moved. That's good. That's good. Oh, 3.
It lives. It's alive. Drills. Oh.
Okay. So we can see it. It's moving. The chart is doing what we want. Look at that, y'all. Look at it go. Yeah, this is what I kind of why I wasn't going to do charting, is because this is super hacky code, right? Like we are not doing D3 the right way here. But we did manage to get it working, and this also shows me that I need to bring a D3 expert on to teach us how to do this right, so we can do some D3 with a little bit of adult supervision. So, chat, if you have a D3 expert that you love, send them my way. Let's see if we can get a show put together.
Ladies
Nathaniel.
and gentlemen, I just want to pause and just like celebrate the fact that we actually finished a project. This is the first time I've been on the show, and we actually finished like completely and actually got what we wanted.
Oh man, yeah. Oh, I should bring Shirley back. Yes, I should absolutely bring Shirley back. That would be awesome. I'm going to talk to her about that because that sounds like a lot of fun. So yeah, I think this is I'm very excited. We managed to get a thing done. We are this is, I mean, just like virtual high five over here. Like I'm not going to lie. I had very little faith in you and I together to complete a project.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm the same. I genuinely sat down. I was like, okay, Nathaniel, like we need to try and stay focused today because last time I was just all over the place. I was just genuinely having too good a time.
I know the show is really fun. The chat is super fun. And chat, as always, thank you for hanging out with us today. It was really fun. Nathaniel, where should I send people? They're not going to be able to see it, but where should I send people if they want to learn more? Like if they want next steps?
Next steps, just head over to the Twilio docs. We actually have a blog post where somebody built a real-time sort of data visualization using Node. I'll drop that link into the chat as well. And
wait, I think I found it. Implementing real-time data visualization in Node.js.
Node.js with Sync. That is really useful because it takes you through all the steps. The one thing is it wasn't serverless, so they use like a Node server to handle a lot of stuff.
Got it.
We've kind of done it serverless. but that would be a great place to get started and to look into building all sorts of amazing things. And there's so many other projects on the blog, so just Google something and you'll probably see it. Sorry, search it in the blog and you'll probably find it.
And don't forget, go follow Nathaniel on Twitter, ChatterboxCoder. With that,
and
let's...
Twitch.
Oh, and Twitch. Oh, yeah, and Twitch. Absolutely. You've got
the Baby
Developer Show.
So I didn't do it this week, but I will be coming back with some more guests. I'm super excited about that.
Yes. Definitely go follow. Oh, I built a new thing. Let's see if it works.
Wait, I'm not hosting you. Damn it, I was supposed to be hosting you.
Oh, come on, man. That hurts me.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so now we are. I think we're at the end of the show. So one more quick shout out to the sponsors. Thank you so much to Whiteco Captioning for doing the live captioning today. It means a lot to us. Thank you to Netlify, Fauna, Sanity, and Auth0 for pitching in to make the show more accessible to more people. It's very, very much appreciated. Chat, if you want to see more of the show, we've got so much fun stuff coming up. So please go check out the schedule. And remember, so later this week on Thursday, we've got Brian Robinson coming on. We're going to learn how to build a plugin for Eleventy. Next week, we've got Nat Allison coming on to do translation in React sites. That's going to be super fun. She led the React Docs internationalization. She's also done a lot of work for Gatsby on internationalization. So one of the leading experts on it. If you've ever been interested in making a site multilingual, this is going to be a great show for you. And then we've got Stefan Judas coming on to talk about Contentful.
Stefan's one of my really good friends. Oh, I'm gonna look forward to that one.
But this is gonna be super fun. We've got so much good stuff coming on. It's gonna be an absolutely wonderful time with more episodes coming up all the time. If you want to add the show to your calendar so that you automatically see new episodes, you can go visit that link right there, jason.af/LWJ/Cal. With that, we are done. Nathaniel, thank you so much for coming on today. It was a blast. Chat, stay tuned. We are going to raid. We will see you next time.